Let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
Stop! That's the signal! Go! 6! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Happy Friday and welcome to the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Rush Radio Android app, good to have you plugged in and tuning in this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, give this video a like, subscribe to our channel, and of course you can always play along with all the other viewers by commenting in the chat. You can follow us on our X account at Rush Mornings. Like our Facebook page, The Rush with Travis and Ross. And follow us on Instagram at The Rush Radio Show. There's going to be a lot more social media activity this weekend because Ross and I are going to be at Grandview University tomorrow morning as we have 5 lucky contestants shooting from the Agency Iowa Logo 3 to win those Caitlin Clark Indiana Fever tickets. But I had an idea, Ross. Before we dive into the NFL draft.
Okay. Good morning.
Good morning, buddy. Yeah. Well, we were talking earlier, so it's just
no.
I'm taking your friendship for granted, is what I am.
No, you're not at all. Not at all.
Don't want to take you for granted, but I thought you and I could stop by Central City Liquors tomorrow just to say hi to the Duax family.
Great idea.
Because last night, Brian Duax was my buddy. Last night. Me and Brian.
What happened?
Well, you know what? I got caught in a situation. I was at a bourbon tasting last night. After my corporate synergy meeting. And we were just we were drinking some pretty fancy bourbons last night. And guys said, wish I had this brand. And I'm like, oh, I know a guy. They're like, you know a guy. I go, oh, I know a guy.
Do you remember what the brand was?
It was Pappy. Pappy.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I go, I know a guy. He goes, you don't know a guy. I go, I know a guy. And so I texted Brian and said, hey, just asking him some questions. And lo and behold, I know a guy. And I sent it to that buddy that night and said, see, I know a guy. And Brian was great. Brian actually started showing me some other just really rare whiskeys. I'm not going to get into the conversation because I don't think I'm privy to say what that was and who he was talking with. But I was just like, oh wow! When you own a place like Central City Liquors, you forget kind of the rare stuff that you are able to amass, and just by accident because you're buying at wholesale.
By accident, you're right. And truly, like with Pappy, there's a couple different angles of this. I've been around Brian a few times to kind of pick up on these few things. Number one, there's whiskeys that Brian likes. There's whiskeys that he's like, no, this is my flavor. This one, it's not the highest end. It's not bottom shelf. This is the one that's my flavor. So everybody's got their own little unique thing. I like peated scotches, which is weird.
That is weird. You're goofy.
It is. That's a goofy thing. But the other thing that happens with Brian, I've been around long enough to see, is like you said, Travis, they will not. It's not necessarily accidentally. It's like buying a penny stock. They will buy a pallet of whiskey, and then all of a sudden that whiskey becomes very, very special. That's kind of what Pappy has been around for a long time. It wasn't this crazy unicorn, go out of your way. I mean, they've got, I've told this story so many times, but there's this great photo inside the door at Central City Liquors. Okay. The Register wanted to do an article about how nobody could keep Templeton Rye on the shelf. That as soon as the store packed up Templeton Rye, it was gone. So they came over and took a picture of the empty slot where the Templeton Rye would normally be. Next to it is Pappy Van Winkle lined up from the edge of the shelf all the way to the back of the shelf. You see Pappy Van Winkle bottles. And right next to it, people were reaching through the Pappy Van Winkle to go all the way to back to grab that Templeton Rye bottle.
And wasn't the Pappy Van Winkle like $37 a bottle or something?
Yeah,
like
the
that?
price is there on the thing too. It's crazy. So fun world to live in, man.
It is fun to know people to go, oh, I know a guy, because they did not believe me. They're like, there's just no way you can locate a bottle of Pappy Van Winkle right now. I said, give me 5 minutes. Took a little bit longer than that, but yeah. And Brian was great because I said, hey, how about Ross and I stop by on Saturday? He goes, I'm not usually there on Saturdays, but if you let me know what time you'd be there, I would try to show up. And then he just follows it up. That promotion at Grandview sounds like it's going to be a blast, which I wanted to say, you are listening to the show. That's awesome.
Yeah, Brian's a listener. Oh, yeah. And so, by the way, is Troy Plummer, or more importantly, Troy Plummer's wife. She listens to the show, watches the show, because yesterday he called me and he was cracking up. And he goes, man, my wife comes in and she goes, Ross, she goes, I heard your voice. He said verbatim what you would have said to Travis. Or what you said to Ross, which was, tell that jackass to quit inviting people over to my university. He kind of chuckled. He's like, he was like, hey, in all seriousness, making sure everything was all set up and ready to go, and having fun. So awesome to have partners and friends like that.
Yeah. So I'm not inviting people to Grandview tomorrow. I'm not. But we are gonna. But if you want to see it, we are gonna put go live on Facebook.
Somebody suggested yesterday, like, we could do a tailgate in the parking lot. There you go. I don't think that I don't think we can keep people from. It's gonna be a beautiful day too, right?
I don't know.
It's gonna be gorgeous. It's gonna be absolutely breathtakingly beautiful tomorrow. It's gonna be nice. It's gonna be 50.
I don't
50
mind.
And sunny. For April, what are you bitching about?
Yeah. I'm not bitching about anything. Not bitching about anything. So, but you were wondering what we could do afterwards, and I'm like, well, we'll just run right up to Central City Liquors. I may never leave, though. That's the problem. I'll be like, I need this, I need this, I need this, I need this.
Well, I've got a few things I got to get. Yeah. Courtney needs some things for her grad party coming up. She needs grenadine and something. I don't remember what the other thing was.
When is that grad party?
That's May 3rd, like everything else in life.
Oh my God.
Like everything else in life.
Now, is she having the grad party before the graduation?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I think so. Did you get our invitation yet?
No.
Oh, okay. I think they mailed them out.
Think I got invited?
But ours is until June 7th or something like that.
All right.
So it's going to be an interesting morning because I'm looking over right now. I think I've got like 13 teenage girls upstairs. And so I'm sure they're like, what the hell is that old man talking about downstairs right now? Because normally, in the old days, I'd be in my studio, but that's still under construction.
13?
Oh, I think so. There's probably about 13 pair of shoes over there. Because today's a big day in Greta's senior year. It's every year they have a field week. And so this is part of like business skills. So at the beginning of the week, they're giving tasks of like they have a budget to work with. They have to work as a team. They have to do certain tasks. And then it all comes to a big crescendo today at a big arena where they put all their skits together and all this stuff. But they have to work within a budget. They get judged. They have to follow certain rules. I think it's just one of those traditions, but it's her last one. And so they all decided to spend the night at our house last night. So so they're all upstairs going, who's that guy talking right now?
I remember something like senior one-act plays or something like that. We did something similar.
But yeah, so it's that's how I'm going to kick off my morning. I'm heading straight to an arena, but it'll be a fun day. The weekend's here, and of course, got Drake relays coming up this weekend, or they've started, but busy day today. We'll get into that a little bit. Ross has got some more rabbit hole stories, which is always good to go down. But the NFL draft kicked off last night, Ross. And let's start with how the draft started. I don't know if you've seen. Were you watching the draft at all last night? I was watching at the bourbon tasting that I was at. Did you hear what Clay Matthews did? This was hilarious. This was, and of course, people have to make a bigger deal about it than what it really is. It was a funny, way to start the draft. First of all, you got, do you know the history with the Green Bay Packers and the bicycles? I don't know if you've ever seen that story. So Roger Goodell and Lil Wayne come out on bikes last night. Well, it's part of Packer history. So this goes back to when I was covering the Packers when I lived in Wisconsin back in the early 90s, and it dated before that. So at training camp, and training camps have changed a lot over the years, but back even when I was covering the Packers, they would stay in the dorms, and then Lambeau Field, where the locker room was and where the practice fields were, it was probably, 400 meters, 800 meters. And instead of having the players walk to the practice field, every morning, kids from Green Bay would line up with their bicycles, and a player would select a kid's bike and ride the bike to the practice field. And then the kid would meet him after practice, and they would ride the bike back. And every training camp, one player basically picked one kid, and they kind of bonded during training camp, which I think is kind of cool, right? I mean, if you're a kid growing up, you're like, oh,
that'd be really
God,
cool.
Brett Favre's riding my bike.
Reggie White rode my bike.
And I watched Reggie White on a bike. And if you ever see, a grown man like Reggie White on a little BMX, you're like, oh my God, that's incredible. But that's kind of one of those, Green Bay traditions. So they started last night with Roger Goodell coming out on a bike, and they said others, and Lil Wayne's is riding, caboose back there, and he comes out. And then they bring out some former Packer players, and Clay Matthews is one of them. And this is how they kick off the draft. And so he's like, Green Bay fans are going crazy, and they got these players up there. And Clay Matthews goes, hey, what's up, everybody? I just got off the phone with President Trump. And he opens an envelope, and he goes, this is the message from President Trump. My fellow Americans. And he turns around and goes, the Bears still suck. And so obviously it was a joke, right? I mean, it's a total joke. Well, what happens as soon as you mention the president's name?
Yeah, I could have told you that. I could have finished that story.
Oh my God. How do you invoke Trump during the draft? And then the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel on its Facebook page actually says, Clay Matthews reads what he says is a message from President Trump. It wasn't. It was all a joke. It's like, you're not really thinking this is real, is you? This is how he's getting the home base fired up. It's the Bears-Packers thing. It's amazing to me how you can take something so funny and people are offended by, oh my God, I can't believe you did that.
Yeah, that's a pretty good joke. I like that.
I think so too.
But you're right. As soon as you invoke the name, everything is going to change. A quarter of the people are just going to be instantly mad. He said Hitler. Ah! It would, and trust me, it would be the other way too. If Joe Biden had still been president, or if Kamala Harris had become president, he would have. People would have reacted the exact same way. Had he done that joke and said, just got a letter from President Harris, just got off the phone with her, here's what she said, a quarter of the people would have said, that's a dummy crap.
But the joke would have fell flat if it would have been anybody else, because you could actually you could actually see Trump going, Bears shall suck.
And I'll be honest, when he started with, I was like, oh yeah, he probably did. President Trump probably did call the guy that's going to do the NFL draft.
Oh, but yeah, it was a funny way to start the draft, just because the first NFL game I ever went to, first NFL game I ever attended was Bears-Packers at Lambeau Field on Halloween.
Wow, night. That's pretty cool.
1993. I'm at Lambeau Field, Halloween night, Bears-Packers. And I was covering it for WAOW TV in Wausau. And I'm like, man, I'm at an NFL game. It's a night game. It is. And you know what Wisconsin people dress up for Halloween, right? What they dress up every game. Camouflage, orange, and you're a hunter. You're a hunter. You're a hunter. Oh, There's no fishermen here today. Where are they at? Because they're all in camo. What was your first NFL game that you ever went to?
I just went a couple years ago. My buddy Kevin, who's gone fishing with me a couple times, he's one of our listeners. He had a ticket to a Chiefs game. It was great. It was a great time. Had a wonderful day. Played the Ravens. It was a fun night.
Oh, that's a really good game to go.
It was a fun game.
Cam Ward, your number one pick in the NFL draft. One of two quarterbacks taken in the first round. Everybody's kind of, is it going to be Travis Hunter? Is it going to be Cam Ward? Who was it going to be? Cam Ward was the first one. A lot of pressure falling on him now with the Tennessee Titans as a franchise quarterback, but not surprising that a quarterback goes number one. I think the bigger surprise to me is only two quarterbacks went in the first round. Shedeur Sanders, not one of them.
But we talked about this yesterday, right?
We did.
Said I kind of hoped for Shedeur's success, that this is what would happen. Less stress, less pressure, put a little chip on his shoulder, make him work for it a little bit, give him some time, find the right spot. Maybe there's not a right spot. I don't know. I saw more interviews yesterday with people, or I think what I'm seeing is the same report being regurgitated. This anonymous NFL exec that says it was the worst interview I was ever a part of. And maybe maybe that teams are just like, listen, this ain't worth the risk. We've got other things there are no guarantees. No guarantees. It was funny, Trav, we went through, remember when the NBA draft happened and we went through all the names of the number one picks in the NBA draft, and it's insane what the hit rate is. If you're a number one pick in the NBA draft, you're the numbers were crazy. Do you remember when we did this that day?
I remember.
Off the top of my head, I can't remember, but here's what I do remember. Almost every one of them was not only a star, was a superstar. A lot of them had their numbers retired, and a good portion of them were Hall of Famers. It's a crazy hit rate. It ain't the same with the NFL. You go back and look at the number one picks, and there's guys that took a long time to hit. There's the Sam Bradfords, drafted in 2010.
And did he really ever hit?
He's had his moments,
but
right?
nothing. Not a Hall of Fame career.
Certainly not. No. Jamarcus Russell. 4 years in a row, here we're the number one. But Alex Smith had the best career of Alex Smith. Well, Mario Williams, Jamarcus Russell, and Jake Long. Jake Long, kid from Michigan.
Yeah.
I don't know what drove me down that rabbit hole a little bit last night, but I was thinking of that NBA draft and how we saw the crazy hit rate that happens with the top picks in the NBA draft. And is
it a numbers thing? I mean, you're talking 7 rounds of the NFL draft. You're talking so many players, just bigger rosters. Your hit rate, should we say, is maybe not as guaranteed as basketball. Could that be a part of it?
I think that's it. Listen, it's a phenomena, and I've been like I said the other day, I've been around more drafts inadvertently in Chicago for a bachelor party when the draft was happening, in Vegas for a boys trip one time when the draft was happening. It's a fun time.
I mean, there's going to be hits and misses, and this is why you and I don't jump on the draft train. We don't jump on the recruiting train because it's an inexact science. Very few people can you say, "Oh, that's a guarantee. That is a guarantee Hall of Famer. That's a guarantee All-American." You just can't do that to people who haven't performed at that highest level. So when you go from high school to college, you have no idea.
It's just different in football. It's such a physical game. Basketball is not. basketball is just not as physical. That's the right word for it. The skills at the high school, international, and college level transition to the NBA a lot quicker, a lot easier. If a guy can get up and down the court and get above the rim and shoot the basketball and knows the game, that's a lot different than does his swim move work against Orlando pace. And I think that's why in football it's more we get more of the. I mean, again, just going back through here, there's a lot of number one picks that have the Jamarcus Russell thing. They've never went to a Pro Bowl. Courtney Brown and Tim Couch. Courtney Brown's a little bit, his is a different story.
Another thing to consider too when it comes to the draft is teams they're filling needs. Now, New Orleans may have had a need at quarterback. We know the Steelers have a need at quarterback. The Giants had a need at quarterback. They went with Jackson Dart out of Mississippi instead of Shedeur Sanders. So, as you drop down the draft board, a lot of it has to do with needs of a team. Sometimes, once you get into the later rounds, they'll take probably the best athlete. But in these first couple rounds, they're like, hey, this is what we need. So once you passed on Shedeur, if you're New Orleans or Pittsburgh, or even the Giants, you're just going to continue to fall farther down the board because teams don't have those needs. Also, I will say this. It's an inexact science. There's no guarantee that any of these players are going to succeed. We know some will out of here. But it's also the NFL, the NBA, the Major League Baseball. You know what they do, Ross? They do their homework. I mean,
yeah.
They do their homework.
I think this is why we're seeing Shedeur slide a little bit. Yeah, dude, it's all about culture and the fit and that draft day thing. We're going to find out how many of his teammates went to his birthday party. In the best available, two Iowa State Cyclones, the top 20 right now in the best available. Jaden Higgins is listed as 11th and Jalen Knoll at 19. So maybe see a couple of Cyclones in round two.
Yeah, I think you'll see both Higgins and Knoll go in round two. The big question is, does Caleb Johnson, Iowa running back, go in round two?
Where's he? I'm going right now to see where they've got him listed. He's third best available running back.
Yeah,
behind two Ohio State running backs.
Not one, but two Ohio State running backs. So you got the second round coming up tonight, and then the rest of this weekend would be 3 through 7. I mean, nothing like the NFL to drag it out 3 full days to capitalize 100% on the revenue possibilities, keeping people in Green Bay.
All right, so you kind of ran past this earlier, but now you got my brain going. I'm going to do some Google searching because everything else you mentioned, you seem to be able to tie back to Green Bay and some sort of history. The bicycle thing. Clay Matthews, we all know. What's Lil Wayne's connection to Green Bay?
I have no idea.
All right, we're going to look this up.
I have no idea. And it was just weird to see, Lil Wayne. And I was trying to get the video up for today, but I was having some technical difficulties in the editing process. When Matthews did the joke, Lil Wayne's just up there laughing. He's laughing, having fun. And I'm like, yeah, but it was just weird. And I didn't know if that was like how Jay-Z's involved with the production of like the halftime show and stuff like that. I didn't know if like that was arranged by Jay-Z. Like, let's have Lil Wayne up there. Or is Lil Wayne from Wisconsin?
No, Lil Wayne's from New Orleans. Nolans. Okay. He's from Nolans. Educated at the University of Phoenix. Did have a song called Green and Yellow, and that is apparently the Packers song. It's got lyrics and everything. Once a Packer, always a Packer. Like Shakur, call me Tupac. I'm green and yellow. Green Bay, huh? It gets scary. Halloween days. Scream face, huh? Bloody Mary secondary. Jordan meme face, huh? A-Rod got him offside. Free play, huh?
You know, when you read it, it doesn't sound like that entertaining of a song, but I'm sure it's a lot better than when Lil Wayne does it.
That's a cheesecake, huh? On a hot plate, huh? Dude. Hail Mary, yeah. Aaron to Devontae. Green boogers, yellow as canaries.
And this is the Green Bay song? Get
I
some
don't
comments
know.
calling you Lil Ross. You're Lil Ross.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what I'm reading here.
They're lyrics.
I know. No, I knew that. And I knew the words I was saying. I don't know what I'm reading.
It must be the beat or the melody that makes the song.
I mean, he does throw in some names and some people. I just hit you boys with the Rodgers rate. Came up with the pack. I done well with the pack. Aaron Rodgers in the trap. I got 12 on my back. Got me rolling out the pocket. Yeah, I mean, it looks like he just took some of the guys' names and threw them in the song. Got Mason Crosby, the kick is good. Green and yellow, we sticking to it. Super Bowl goals, shooting for the stars. Baby trigger pull. And then the word B-A-O-W. Bow. 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 Okay.
There's a rabbit hole I never thought we were going to go down today.
Lil Wayne's connection to Green Bay. All the other stuff, the bicycle thing is cool. I would not, if I would have seen that, Travis, I wouldn't have known that. They'd had to explain it to me.
And if you, on ESPN last night, they kind of did a little story. But you're right. If you're just watching the highlights and you see Roger Goodell coming out on a bicycle, you're like, what the hell's going on here? You know, it's like, there's the commissioner on a bicycle and more people on a bicycle. And there's Lil Wayne, who wasn't really riding the bike. He was sitting on the bike, Ross, but had one foot down and was like using his foot to move the bike. Now, I'm not saying he doesn't know how to ride a bike. I'm just saying there was a lot of bicycles on the stage, so he's probably like, I'm going to be better safe than sorry here.
That's probably it.
And it's probably a good call. They say, a lot of people saying, Ross, the only thing you're missing was you need a gold grill as you were reading those.
No, I didn't. No, not missing it at all. No, didn't miss it.
515-517-2303. Who's on the phone? Welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Who is this?
Nick.
Hey, Nick, what's going on, man?
So that song he came up with when they went to the Super Bowl. That's why it says Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that makes sense. Yeah, a lot of the. I mean,
he's a big Packers fan.
Yeah, some of the other names that are on there kind of date the team. He's got Zadarius Smith listed. He's got who's another one I'm missing? Bakhtiari, Tanyan.
What are you doing, Nick?
Preston Smith.
I'm working. I'm sorry.
Oh, you're fine, Nick. What do you do?
No, that's cool. I just was wondering what you were doing.
Not like throwing product out here. No, we're working. Almost done.
What do you do for a living? What are you throwing?
Oh, I deliver products to stores. I've been working all night.
Oh man.
So
third shift
in the truck.
All right, buddy.
Yeah, I love it.
All right.
Thanks, sir.
Talk to you.
I love that.
So he's probably got the earbuds in.
He absolutely never stopped working. You could hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to call these guys.
Probably hit the button. Yeah. Has he programmed it into his phone to just say, call the rush?
That would be cool if he did. You'd have to, because, if he's throwing stuff, he's got 515-517-2303 just programmed into his phone, which is good, which is really, really good.
Good to hear from you. Thank you so much.
It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515 218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how bats and bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Missing a quality, home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
We here at Willis Automotive pride ourselves on providing the utmost in hospitality, treating everyone who walks through our doors like a guest in our home. And during our Friends and Family sales event, we extend that philosophy to our prices. From our Willis Automotive campus in Clive to each location across the metro, we have over 575 pre-owned vehicles for sale at our special pricing, including 55 vehicles priced less than $18,000. Visit our website at willisauto.com or stop into our many locations across the metro and experience the Willis difference today.
If you have a pest problem with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Yesterday, we had our listener, Alan, tell us that, he was on his deathbed, basically.
That's right.
And he had a wedding today. Because, not normal people get married on Friday. But Alan says, good morning, everyone. Just woke up from my NyQuil coma, because that's the advice that I gave him yesterday, was just to, take NyQuil all day long.
Slow drip the NyQuil starting at 10 a.m.
He says, while not 100%, I'm much better today. LFG. Yeah.
Let's go. Best friend's wedding tonight. Now, we didn't talk about this. Do you write the speech, plan the speech, or do you wing it? I've seen it all.
That's a good question. I'll take. I've never been a best man because I'm not a good friend. So I've never had to deliver a speech at a wedding. The only time I've had to do a speech,
you did a wonderful job at your daughter's.
Yes,
and you had written that one because you were nervous about it, right?
Well, I didn't necessarily write a speech. I wrote bullet points.
You planned it.
I planned it.
Okay.
So I made sure that I stayed on track.
Okay. All right. Alan says he's winging it, baby.
Oh, coming off a NyQuil coma.
It's going to be glorious.
You're going to wing the speech.
This is going to be glorious. You guys ever think about bong shops?
Whatever you do.
Women be shopping, right, guys? Women be shopping.
Have you ever been a best man in a wedding?
Yeah, a couple times.
See, because you're everybody's buddy. The highest I've ever moved up the corporate wedding ladder was like fourth groomsman. That's kind of what it is, right? I mean, the corporate wedding ladder. You're like, okay, the groom and the bride, they're the co-CEOs. Then you have the chief operating officers, which are the maid of honor or matron of honor, and the best man.
Yeah,
I'm just kind of middle management when it comes to being in weddings, and I've only been in like 2 or 3 weddings just because I don't have that many friends. Now, if you were ever to get remarried, I don't know if I'd be in your wedding or not.
Yeah, if I had a wedding that had groomsmen in it, I think you'd be there. You'd be one of my.
You seem like the guy if you were to get remarried. You're like, hey, we went down to the Justice of the Peace today. We just got it done.
If I got remarried, it'd probably be in a park somewhere. I'd invite people. You know what I mean? I think that it'd be a fun little party, but I don't know that I do just go to the courthouse thing. I want, people want to celebrate with you. I love that.
Alan does say, if all else fails, I'll just pull up Lil Wayne lyrics and read those.
Could you imagine if you just dove in? My final piece of advice for the bride is big G's, balling hard like Big Meech, big league, Super Bowl champs, big rings, big bling, Lombardi trophy, yeah, Vince team. Shining like Bart Starr, number 15.
Everybody's just sitting in the crowd going, what's he talking about? What's he talking about?
Listerine, about to mess around, make history.
Listerine? Is he talking about the mouthwash?
It says, I'm green, boy. I'm fresher than some mint green Listerine. About to mess around, make history. If you slowed that down and said it like, you do that, I'm going to pull the curtain. This is that preacher's cadence thing, right? You can say anything if you just put some God emphasis into it. People are like, oh, he's a man of the cloth.
Listen to what they're saying here.
And I think that it's the same thing. If Alan just slows it down at the end of his speech, he says, I guess the last thing I'd like to say, guys, and just don't forget, in green, boy, I'm fresher than some mint green Listerine.
Now, Alan, if you want to help us out,
mess around and make history.
Because we're giving you great advice here. Ross is giving you great advice here on how to deliver the speech. If you want to accomplish something of great importance, during the speech, at some time, mention the Rush Radio Show and the Rush.
I'd say what I thought you were going to say is it's all about the cadence. You can get the emotion that you're looking for out of this because you want to. It's there's this Parks and Rec thing, right? Like there's a whole rhythm to the speech. There's that you can hack this thing. You start off with a joke, right? Vin Diesel quote.
Is there something about Wedding Crashers that is true? You know how they go through the speech and they, when they know when it's going to bomb or when it's going to be because they've trashed so many weddings.
Dude, I've seen so many speeches. I've seen good, bad, indifferent. Yeah. The word, and it's you always feel bad for the it's usually the woman. I was just about to say the girl. You always feel bad for whoever gets up there and they just get too emotional and they can't even get it out. And all you hear for 2 minutes is them.
That was me, man.
No, it was.
That was me. Ross is making fun of me right
no,
now.
No, it was not. No, you did a really nice job with your speech because yours was real and it had and not that those aren't, but I'm just saying sometimes they do that and then they can't pick it, they can't get it back together. But I think even worse is the old classic, and Alan, don't do this. The old oh man, this old Randy fella here. Yeah, man, he got his way around town. Let me tell you guys some stories. Back in 2016, you know what we called this guy? Poonhound. Oh, a little Poony over here. Yeah, this guy. Now, how many chicks you run through that summer? Don't. I've seen that, and everybody. Or
you've actually seen that?
Oh, absolutely.
Really?
Absolutely. It's always awkward when the best man is the bride's brother. If you ever, you know what I mean? The girl married her brother's best friend, which happens, and that's good.
It does.
But man, those speeches get weird. Yeah, the day I realized my best friend was banging my sister, and you're like, oh God. Oh, just talk about your friendship and how happy you are for your sister. Inside jokes, Eric says that's a good one to avoid because that turns into this. Remember Aspen?
and everybody in the crowd is going, no, we don't remember Aspen.
And then again, your brain fills in with bad stuff, and you're like, did they kill a prostitute in Aspen? What happened in Aspen?
And this is a reminder that everybody in the crowd will be judging your speech. They'll be talking about you probably for the next 12 to 24 hours after said wedding.
No, they won't. That's the other thing.
If it's bad, they will. If it's bad, they'll be like,
I mean, if you screw it up. But you're not going to have some speech where you're not going to get a 3-minute standing ovation.
No. What I meant, more so if it's bad. People will be like, man.
That's what, if you go up there and you do something memorable in that way, you go up there, oh my gosh.
The Jacksonville Jaguars traded up from the Cleveland Browns to take Travis Hunter yesterday. So Travis Hunter went number 2 in the NFL draft, and he was drafted as a cornerback. That's what he went down as. Of course, he's a dual threat. He can play wide receiver. He can play cornerback. He wants to play both ways. Travis Hunter said last night during his interview, Ross, and he was wearing the pink last night. He had a pink suit on. It was a fashion show in Green Bay. But does it surprise you that he said, I hadn't even talked to the Jaguars since the combine? I mean, you have a team that's getting ready to draft you, and your last communication with them was the combine.
Yeah, after we just got done saying, man, they do all their research and they find out all this stuff and they know they turn over every rock. Apparently not in this situation. Or they found out what they wanted to find out. I don't... one of those two things, or they just thought this guy's enough of a talent that we're going to take the gamble on the little bit we can that we verified about him. And I do think Travis Hunter is a crazy talent. It will be interesting to see. I know he said, I'm not going to go anywhere that won't let me play both ways. We both think that's probably silly.
Yeah, he said, game over. Game over. I'll quit football if I don't get to play both ways. Yeah.
So, I mean, who knows? If Jacksonville thought we can jump up there and get the most out of this guy before he quits, or we can, a little bit of time. I mean, that's a lot of money for a gamble like that. I don't know.
Breaking it down by conference, the SEC with 15 first-round picks, tying a record they set a couple years ago. The Big Ten had 11 first-round picks, so 26 first-round picks come from two conferences, the SEC and the Big Ten. The ACC and the Big 12 had 2 first-round picks. The Pac-12 had 1 first-round pick. The Mountain West had 1 first-round pick. And little old Missouri Valley Conference had 1 first-round pick. Kid from North Dakota State, I believe.
Yeah, Gray Zabel.
Yeah.
Zabel.
Any relation?
Spelled the same way. Zabel. I don't know.
Those numbers surprise you at all?
Nope. I mean, the SEC number is high. Looking at the Big Ten, because you had a couple of Michigan guys go early on. Abdul Carter obviously was the third pick, who I think my son Eli is a big Giants fan, and I think he was hoping that they would get either Ward or Hunter. And so last night he was disappointed, and I really do think Abdul Carter will probably be the guy that has the best impact. He's going to be fantastic, in my opinion. So Michigan ends up then, Mason Graham went 5th. Colson Loveland went to the Bears at 10. And then Kenneth Grant went to the Dolphins at 13. And then it goes Penn State, Ohio State, Ohio State, Ohio State, Ohio State, Ohio State.
There's a reason Ohio State had a $20 million roster right there.
Yeah, it's funny because I was looking at, you said the Big Ten number, and I'm like, well, yeah, Penn State, Michigan, Penn State, Michigan, Penn State. Where's the Ohio State guys? Oh, there they all are.
Like a domino effect. My favorite player in the draft was the Allen kid from Penn State, the tight end.
Who went to where did he go?
Was he like the 14th pick, right around there?
Tyler Warren. He went to the Colts.
Or Warren, yeah. So Tyler Warren. He was one of those players I always just like watching, because he's a specimen, makes things happen, just made plays. I hope he makes it in the NFL. Shelf life of a tight end, who knows? But he was probably one of my favorite players coming out of the draft. Here's the
it's so funny. What a world we live in. What a world we live in. 2 tight ends were drafted in the first round last night. 1 running back.
I thought there was 2 running backs.
Were there 2 running backs? I thought there was just 1.
I was going to break it down by position. So yeah. Ashton Genty went.
I didn't see O'Marion Hampton. North Carolina running back went 22 to the Chargers. Okay. Yeah. Okay. There were 2. Darn.
So you had 2 quarterbacks. Yes. You had 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. Now these are skill positions, man. These are
used to be what the first round. I mean,
yes. You had 5 offensive tackles, 3 offensive guards, 5 defensive tackles, 2 linebackers, 4 edge rushers, 3 cornerbacks, and 1 safety. That's your first round breakdown by position. Of all those, the 2 quarterbacks probably the most. I mean, I remember drafts when there was like 5 quarterbacks taken in the first round. Is that an indication that this just is not a strong quarterback class?
Yeah, I think yes. You have to say that. Yes. Is it an indication of anything else though? I don't think so.
I don't. And a lot of teams have their quarterbacks of who they think they need. There's probably not a lot of teams out there that need a quarterback, at least in the first round. You're like, okay, we might take one later on to see who could be the backup. But yeah, that's where the breakdown comes.
That's an interesting breakdown. What a change. And I don't think necessarily the quarterback thing. Yes, it was a bad year for really talented guys that were ready to make a splash and be a difference maker on an organization at quarterback. But look at just the skill position thing there, Travis. I mean, 2 quarterbacks, 2 running backs. Would you say 3 wide receivers?
3 wide receiver. Now, again, because I looked at this when I looked at the position breakdown today, they put Travis Hunter in a cornerback position.
We'll use him. We'll use him as utility or whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
It's usually what people are most excited about going into the draft. I mean, I'm seeing this through the lens of my 14-year-old son. That he's not excited about who I think it might be the best player in the draft, getting an edge rusher. Now, I shouldn't say that I think Travis Hunter is the best player in the draft, but it's hard to get excited. What did you say? There were 8 offensive linemen. Did you say 5 guards and 3?
So 5 tackles, 3 guards.
Okay.
But
That's
where do
hard
you
to
win?
get-
Where do you win? You win up front.
You're right. I'm not saying you don't. That's what you should do if you're trying to build your team, right?
Yeah, because if you were to ask the average fan, and I would call myself the average fan, say, hey, name the best players out there. You're going straight to the skill positions because that's who makes the highlights. You don't say, hey, on College Game Day and stuff, you will, but on the nightly news, you're not saying, hey, we're zero in on this offensive tackle and look at this pancake block. I mean, just an amazing block. You don't see that. Their name's not in bright lights. But teams, if you want to win, it starts up front with your offensive line. Why? Because you have to protect your quarterback. Got to protect your quarterback. And in the National Football League, defense wins. That's why you got 5 defensive tackles, 2 linebackers, 4 rush it. So, again, you get round 2 today, rounds 3 through 7 tomorrow. More NFL draft.
Yay.
Monday,
we're not doing this. We're not breaking down rounds 2 through 7.
No. Frank Caliendo is going to be joining us on Monday.
You can if you want.
Now, we're getting back to funny, as Frank Caliendo is going to be joining us. Yes, that Frank Caliendo. He's coming to Des Moines. He'll be in concert. Do you call a comedy show a concert?
Not unless it's in an arena.
Okay, so like when Shane Gillis comes to
Wells Fargo concert's Arena, a weird word.
It is.
I don't think I would. I think a concert's a music thing.
I'm kind of with you on that. Just call it a show?
Yeah. Comedy show.
Got a show.
Yeah.
When we go see Shane Gillis, are you going to Shane Gillis? That's the plan, I think, isn't it?
I'm hoping to. Absolutely, yeah.
Because I think we're going to be up there that weekend doing some stuff together. But it is. I've never seen a comedy show in an arena. I've always been a comedy club guy. So I've never seen, let's use Hoyt Sherman or even the Civic Center. I've never seen a comedy show in something that size.
Okay. I've seen Jim Gaffigan at the Civic Center, the Des Moines Center for Performing Arts, I think that's what it's called now. I've seen Jim Gaffigan at Wells Fargo Arena. Saw Nate Bargatze at Wells Fargo Arena. I've seen a couple of shows, of comedy shows at arenas like that, and now, several.
Do you prefer a club? Do you prefer kind of an auditorium?
I don't give a crap about the arena.
Matter?
Nah. I mean, dude, used to go to open mic night at Billy Joe's Pitcher Show. That was, I saw Bill Burr at CY Stevens. Yeah, so I've seen comedy shows in every venue. The Vaudeville Muse. It doesn't matter. As long as it's funny.
Tyler says, of course Travis prefers a club. Oh my God. Stereotyping me
I'm glad that that'll be fun for you because they are different in an arena. I will tell you that, Travis. Like it doesn't have that intimate feel. But the arena shows I've seen have usually been fantastic. I saw Dave Chappelle at Wells Fargo Arena. That was a good one.
Yeah, it's just
bunch of them.
Yeah. You have done a lot. Man,
I love comedy. I've seen a lot of comedies. I've seen a lot of comedians in a lot of different venues.
Because we're having Caliendo on Monday. We're just talking about what kind of comedy ones. You're not an impression guy. And no. I don't think but Caliendo is. I mean, there's no doubt he's a pretty famous dude, right? So, I grew up with Rich Little. So, Rich Little was
that's who I think of. Whenever I think of impressionists, I think of Rich Little. He was the first guy I saw that could do it. It's a talent. And Frank Caliendo's a really funny guy. It's just not my sort of thing.
Yeah.
Jeff Dunham is not my thing. I don't understand how that guy ever became uber mega popular.
And
because
you brought up Jim Gaffigan a couple times. I'm like, and remember I told you, I go,
yeah,
I'm not a Jim Gaffigan guy.
It's Rev saw the show that I wanted to take my dad to, dude. Vicki Lawrence came to town. Vicki Lawrence is doing her Hey Mama tour. Do you remember Hey Mama?
Oh yeah, because it was a spinoff from the Carol Burnett show. Remember, she did that character and from the Carol Burnett show, and then was it Hey Mama or was it Mama's Place? Was it Mama's Place?
Was it Mama's Place? Is that that could be it? Yeah. That could be it. Thank you for that. Thank you for that correction. Fun. What talented ladies, dude. Carol Burnett.
That whole Carol Burnett show was with Harvey Korman and Tim Conway and all those guys. That was just a great show. Now everybody's just throwing up comics they've seen. So, comedy's fun. People want to laugh, and they enjoy laughing. 515-517-2303. That is the number to call. The phone line is going to be open for the next hour. In hour number 2, we'll talk a little bit about the Drake relays. Ross hopefully has some more rabbit hole stories for us to go down.
Dude, I've got some stuff for you. Here's what you need to do. During the break, you're going to have to do something for me, okay?
Okay.
You're going to have to, I want you to, pay attention to our sponsors. They've got important messages for you as well. But have you seen the Australian twins that talk at the same time? You haven't seen this. You have to see it for us to have this conversation. There's something, it blew my mind. There's something incredibly fascinating happening with these twins from Australia, and they're becoming super viral. So maybe we talk about that.
Now I'm intrigued. Kind of scared at the same time, maybe? I don't know.
We'll see.
It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hey everybody, this is Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Willis Infinity. A couple of great things going on this month. We got tons of inventory, and on top of that, right now, we have 1.99 out to 60 months on the new QX60 and up to $2,500 in cash on here. Also this month, we are still doing the 2.9% up to 60 on new QX80s, the 3000 in Conquest. For more information, visit your favorite Infinity sales consultant on our showroom or online at willisinfinity.com.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
If you have a pest problem with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions is Central Iowa's local expert in fast, effective, eco-friendly pest solutions at a fair price for your home or business. Call us today at 515-218-3400.
Believe it or not, spring is coming. When it does, be absolutely organized with custom garage or closet systems from Absolute Garage and Closets. Turn a winter mess into a spring success at our showroom in Urbandale or visit absolutegarage.net.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
Spring cleaning continues. Take care of your front and rear differential fluid services today over at Willis. Clean out all the impurities from both differentials. You can get both of those taken care of for $199.95. To schedule your appointment, give us a call or head online at willisvolvocars.com.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
We've returned and we brought snacks, sarcasm, and absolutely no sense of shame. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Friday. Your weekend is here. We're hoping to kick you off on the right foot. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Rush Radio Android app, thank you for tuning us in. If you're watching on YouTube, give this channel a subscription. Give the video a like. Leave your comments in the comment section. Also, follow us on our social media channels, X, Facebook, and Instagram. He's Ross Peterson. I'm Travis Justice, here till 8 o'clock today. Quick reminder that the 17th Annual Bacon Festival, Blue Ribbon Bacon Festival, is coming up next Saturday at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. It's the Bacon Boat, making your dreams come true, your bacon dreams come true. You going to dress up as Thurston Howell III?
No, I'm more of a Gilligan guy, if you can't tell.
Yes, you are a Gilligan guy. Did you back up my claim that Steely Dan is yacht rock?
No, yet? Steely Dan is not yacht rock. But neither here nor there. If you want to slide it in and play, I like Steely Dan, so sure, play some Steely Dan. When I hear yacht rock, though, I think Christopher Cross. I even would slide in some of the Jimmy Buffett stuff.
Oh, that's more island rock.
Okay, see.
I think yacht rock really be.
You need a yacht to get to an island.
No, you can use a boat or a dinghy.
Well, yeah, you don't need dinghy rock songs.
I don't.
Okay.
But also at the Blue Ribbon Bacon Festival, they're going to be giving away a great prize, which is a cruise for 2, which includes airfare and $500 cash, courtesy of Community Choice Credit Union. Going to have all sorts of bacon to drink or eat, all sorts of beer to drink, live bands. And, of course, tickets start as low as $29 at BlueRibbonBaconFestival.com. But next week on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive, we are going to be giving away a pair of tickets each and every day to the Blue Ribbon Bacon Festival, which is coming up again May 3rd at the Iowa State Fairgrounds. And Brooks Reynolds will join us sometime next week as he's
nice.
gearing up for his
logistics of this are fun to talk about. I mean, it's a process to fry that much bacon, have that much bacon prepared for that many people. It's a process. So logistics.
You kind of freaked me out over the break because you told me to go watch these 2 Australian twins, and I didn't quite know what to expect, and it freaked me out, I think, even a little bit more after watching it. So, long story short, I'll let you explain it because it's hard to explain. This is the rabbit holes that Ross does at night. And thank God for YouTube.
Bridget and Paula Powers are their names. I don't want to guess their age, but they're adult women. They're not. Yes. They're not kids. I'm guessing
in their 40s, maybe.
I would say as well, probably in their 40s. They were there. How this story got to my world was there was an accident that happened near their home in Australia, and the local news station came to interview eyewitnesses as they do, and they played this particular interview. Now, Travis, I'm not sure. Can we play these? Can we play these clips, or is that not?
Well, you can, but we don't have it.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right.
I need to edit it and put it into the system. So if we can, but
I
just can't right now.
It's something you have to see to really truly understand. These 2 twins talk at the exact same time, and now I don't mean they finish each other's sentences. That's a different deal. friends can do that after a period of time. No, I mean, these two women respond in conversation. When they stutter or change how they talk, they do that in unison. Sometimes it's even one of their voices fades off and the other one picks up a few words of a sentence, and then the other one finishes the sentence. They are experiencing something wild. They are sharing something cognitive. It's beyond anything I've seen before with twins. It's not telepathy. I mean, maybe in a way, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it's not telepathy. Maybe in a way it is telepathy. Maybe in a way it's
I'm messing with something here. So if you're watching on YouTube, I'm screwing everything up. Let me see if you can hear this. Do you want to see if let me hear, can you hear this?
Bang. We said, oh no, another car accident. We don't know why, but we have tried to talk separately, but we're not ourselves. It's not us.
Two Australians.
Could you hear that?
Yeah, I could hear that.
That was weird.
Oh yeah.
That was really weird.
Mike said, unfortunately, yes, we can. So I've seen a lot of people online that are like, it's all fake. This is just a fake thing. No, these women have been, and apparently this is actually like a phenomenon. Somebody reached out to me and was like, dude, do you ever watch the Learning Channel? TLC had an entire episode of shows about this. Had a show that had an episode about twins that do this. They speak in unison. And they even, in one of the interviews I saw, they even say, like, that's part of it, where they say, we don't feel ourselves if we're not talking like this, if we're not together and talking like this. And they say, if we ask one of you a question, can one of you answer? And they say, yep, we can try. As the one is answering, the other one's lips are moving, Travis.
Like it's a ventriloquist over there, like she, you know.
Yeah. Yes.
Who's pulling the string behind her neck?
Now, I get fascinated by weird shit. I get that. I totally admit it. And I'm sorry that I drag all of you into this stuff with our show. Thank you for coming along on the ride sometimes. A lot of people have had the reaction I've seen in our chats of like, this does not seem as fascinating to me. Not as great as Ross is making it out to be. To me, my mind is blown at what I'm watching with that.
Okay, here's what's fascinating about it. This is where I think you got to think deeper. They didn't rehearse. Now, if this was rehearsed stuff and you thought they had canned answers, and at first I'm like, okay, you kind of knew, but then they started asking them questions like in these new shows, and that's where you're like, oh, there's no way you could rehearse this. There's no way you could have that rehearsed or even memorized. And the fact that your brain, it's like their brain waves are connected through space.
I can't stop thinking about it. Last night, I'm having dinner, and I said, or it was yesterday during lunch, I said, this kind of makes me question free will.
Really?
A little bit. I'm not saying the earth is flat. I'm just saying I'm less convinced it's round. I don't want to sound crazy, but that's where my brain, as I think about this thing, as I was mowing and as I've just, this thing's been consuming. I'm like, what the hell is happening there? They're sharing something intangible. It's almost like they're sharing a consciousness. It's wild.
So have you ever seen the movie Lucy? Has Scarlett Johansson in it?
Oh yeah, she's she gets like the superpowers.
She got this because the drugs.
Morgan Freeman in that as well.
Morgan Freeman's in it.
Yeah, dude, that's a good one.
So and they talk about brain capacity, right? Like we as humans use what 4, 5, 6% of our brains. That if you're able to actually tap into a certain percentage of your brain, this certain level of consciousness or ability starts to take place. You wonder if they have this superpower gift,
dude,
of tapping into a certain part of their brain that most of us cannot, and that is they are hearing at the same time what they're going to say.
I was blown away by it, and it took me down the rabbit hole of seeing more interviews with them, and then it was like one thing I read was like, yeah, this is what Australian twins do this, and like people were like, yeah, this is common in Australia. What?
See, I look at it at a different way. It's not just repeating what they're saying. Do you know what you're thinking?
It's got to be that, Travis. When they stutter or change their phrasing, they do it in unison. How? You can't rehearse that. That's not. Oh, I've got a really close relationship. No, you're sharing. There's a cognitive connection there. It blew my mind.
Okay, now I'm going down a rabbit hole.
I'm telling you.
Okay, here's the rabbit hole I'm going down. Do they have to be in like close proximity? Meaning, like if one is 25 miles away, does she know what she's saying?
I don't know.
I'm an American twin. I've never had that happen to my brother and I.
I've been around dozens of twins in my life. Never seen anything like that. Now, what did Sean say? He's an American twin.
Says, if that ever happened to my brother and I, it was pure coincidence. Meaning, it might have happened once, but it's not like you're doing an interview and you're both in unison, harmonizing the exact same words that you're thinking. That's crazy. That's mutinish. This is like the beginning of the X-Men.
And this, like, even reading the article from the Australian News, it says there's a lot of negative comments on Facebook because some people are saying it's fake. This is the society we live in, by the way, and I'm extremely cynical. So
you are one of the most cynical people that I know. I would agree.
This is pot calling kettle black. I get that. But this is the world that we live in now, where everything that you see, you think, I'm being lied to here. Something's wrong with this. Because this is not normal, and anything that's not normal now is a lie and a fake. If you haven't seen it, it's wild.
And there's plenty of videos out there on
YouTube. All sorts of them, because now they're being interviewed and they're going viral, and I'm assuming that they are, after seeing a few of them, they're on the spectrum, and I'm guessing that that's at some point there was a medical diagnosis with them either being autistic or having Asperger's, and whatever it is, it's a phenomenon. And I really want to know, is this something that happened that when I saw the thing of like, oh yeah, this is Australian twins. You didn't know that? You didn't know Australian twins talk in unison? They share a consciousness?
So we're basically saying that Australians are like...
I don't know what we're
saying.
Some way? I don't know what we're saying. Dude from Iowa, AI is messing with us. A few different listeners have commented and said, dude, you're falling for a fake here. This is AI. I don't believe that's the case, but...
Yeah, how could it be AI if you have them getting interviewed by Piers Morgan and there's like an actual record of that taking place?
I mean, how you could have stopped with how can it be AI?
Well,
okay?
that's
right.
fair. That's
but
fair.
I don't believe that's what this is.
And I don't believe it because AI hasn't been that advanced on something like this.
Yeah. Not yet.
Not yet.
In a little while, it'll get there, yeah.
Speaking of AI, I mean, you can use AI to write tests, right?
Oh my gosh! Did I tell you the story before we came on the air?
Before we came on the air.
Oh, dude! I'll see if I can find the details of this one. This is wild. I think it was the California bar. Yes. Oh, dude, this is so good. This is from February of 2025. multiple choice questions on the California bar exam started to come back. People that were taking the test were coming in large numbers and saying, hey, something's wrong with these questions. They don't make sense.
Now, these are people who are taking the bar exam in California.
State Bar disclosed that its psychometrician, a person or organization skilled in administering psychological tests, created 23 of the 171 scored multiple choice questions with AI assistance. Okay? Now, as we said, you can use AI. You got to proofread it.
You do.
You got to proofread it because it's going to make mistakes. They didn't proofread it. 23 of the 100. This gets better too. Your state bar exams. 23 of the 171 scored multiple choice questions were used with AI assistance. Another 48 of the questions came from a first-year law student exam. This is the bar exam. The thing that, like, oh my God, you passed the bar?
Which people, and there are lawyers listening to the show. I know lawyers who have passed the bar. That's like the most stressful time of their life. They take like 3-4 months to prepare for the bar exam.
California, the state where you can't build a bathroom without $1 million in permits. True story. That state where you can't build a bathroom without $1 million of permits is allowing people to become attorneys when 48 of your 171 questions. So that's a fourth. A fourth of your questions are from your first year in law school. And another 8th of your questions were created by an AI computer that misspelled stuff or put commas in the wrong place,
or just asked a flat out
just
wrong
asked
question.
a question that was nonsensical.
By the way,
the state bar exam the state bar came back and basically said, our bad. Sorry.
By the way, every student that walked up and said something's wrong with these questions should get an automatic pass at the bar because they were smart enough to go, you know what? I've studied.
Dude, aren't you learning that the bar wasn't too high anyway?
That's true. This is why I never became a lawyer.
Because of AI. Me too. That's why.
No, because I would have had to take a really hard test.
Yeah.
I don't like hard tests.
You know why I didn't become a lawyer? Because of brain. Because I'm not this thing.
No, dude, you would have been. Everybody who worked with me here, okay? Ross would have been an incredible lawyer in the courtroom. And I could see you as a trial lawyer. Asking questions, cross-examining, objecting. The problem is the steps to get there.
It took me too long to get my shit together, man. That's what it was. It took me too long to grow up. I'm not kidding you. I wanted to be a lawyer. I really did. That was my thing. Yeah, I did mock trial, Model UN. I did all that really nerdy stuff and loved it.
You know, it's not too late. I know you're in the real estate career now, but you could say, you know what? I'm going to sell real estate. I'm going to do a radio show in the morning.
I'm going to tell you, I've seen some of these attorneys that are representing us in Congress, and I've thought to myself, Jesus, if they became attorneys, I know the Constitution better than these people.
So now it's like, hey, do you have a house for sale? Call Ross Peterson. Did you murder somebody? Defense attorney, Ross Peterson.
I don't want to be it. I don't even know. See, that's the other thing. I don't even know what type of. I'd want to be a tort reform attorney. I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, you've heard it said, and we're going to work on tort reform. Sad thing is, I think most of the teenage girls I have upstairs, I think a lot of their parents are lawyers. So it's like, I better watch what I say. I think there's probably one or two lawyers. Children of lawyers.
So anyway, those were a few of my rabbit holes today. Those were just a few of my rabbit holes of the Australian twins. We talked yesterday about the fight club. I told Bruno about the children's fight club that the lady was running. We had Jello Shop Mom.
That was my favorite. That was my matter of fact, you're going to Peggy's later on. You may be getting a Jell-O shot at Peggy's. I don't know if they're doing the Jell-O shot at Peggy's or not.
I think I think that's some of the guys were planning on doing that.
Because you're going to pay. It's Drake Relays weekend. Of course, you had a lot of records broken at the Drake Relays yesterday. You had a new meet and stadium record for the hammer throw. Hammer throw is just intriguing to me. I could never throw a hammer. And it's not throwing an actual hammer. It's like a shot put at the end of
it's
chain,
more like a
right?
ball and chain. Yeah,
it's a ball and chain. And to me, it sounds dangerous. I would kill somebody. It'd be like, have you ever golfed like with a gallery? You're like, please, you all need to move. Not even a small gallery.
No, I would. No, for the safety of everyone, I wouldn't hit the ball. I mean, I'm serious. I would say. Nobody wants to be there.
I've had the unfortunate privilege to golf with the gallery. And it's because, how like the Principal Charity Classic has a Pro-Am to start the day and, people go out there and follow the pros. I've been in one or two Pro-Ams and you line up and you're like, oh, you have a gallery here? You all need to move way behind me.
Yes.
Because I could kill somebody. I could kill somebody. If they had like a celebrity hammer throw at the Drake Relays, you all need to stand behind the net.
Celebrity hammer throw.
We'll have to talk to Blake Bolden about that. Hey, Blake, we need to have the celebrity hammer throw next year.
Say our insurance won't cover that. No.
And I know there's like a net behind you. I would like spin and I would throw it in the back of the net.
Yeah. I'd hurt myself. I wouldn't even be able to get. There's no way. Okay, a couple things with the hammer throw, Travis. The opening in the net is much smaller. I mean, I'd be interested in the actual degrees of it, but it's not wide. It's not like the traditional shot put or javelin type of field. It's a very narrow. The net almost encircles the competitor. So just getting it out of the slot. Nah. I wonder how heavy it is. Could you even pick it up and swing it around and keep yourself in the circle?
Well, you see how big these guys are.
And women.
Is there a women's hammer throw?
Yeah. Oh. And they're ripped, dude. They are brick houses.
Well, use the Google machine. How heavy is the hammer in the hammer throw? I'm guessing the men's is 12 pounds. I'm just throwing a guess out there. I want to know how close.
Go ahead.
I'm guessing the men's is a 12-pound or 14-pound hammer, and I'm guessing the women's would be an 8 to 10-pound hammer. I'm just throwing that out there.
Look at you. Total weight for a hammer throw, including head, wire, and grip, is 16 pounds for men, 8.8 pounds for women. 16 pounds is a bowling ball, dude.
That's a heavy bowling ball. When I go to a bowling alley, I'm like, where's the 10-pounder? 16-pounder, I don't even think I could get into a backswing. It'd be like, oh. Throwing a 16-pound hammer would throw my back out quickly.
Oh, my God.
Quickly.
We better have Dr. Sullivan on the ready. Get a chiropractor to sponsor it.
Oh, man. But yeah, new Drake Stadium and Drake Relays hammer throw record yesterday by Rudy Winkler. Big dude.
Nice.
Big dude. I like the name. Rudy Winkler just sounds like a hammer thrower, right?
I like how you said big dude. It would have been amazing if you're like, new record set. Guy weighs 160 pounds. Looks like you, Ross. Looks like you.
He's perfected just the aerodynamics of it all.
His limp-wristed throwing style allows him.
You had a new record in the decathlon, beating Kip Javerin's 29-year-old Drake Relays record.
Oh, wow. I remember that name. Kip Janvrin was a Drake Relays legend.
Yes. So that record falls. Today's going to be a lot of action on the track starting at about 8:35. A lot of high school runners today, a lot of university and college division. You get the professionals running as well, but 2 full days on the track. I'm not a track and field guy, but I like to go watch like, some of the bigger names, but a lot of people when they say, hey, you going to the relays, what they really mean is, are you going to Peggy's? Are you going to Lucky Horse? Are you going to the library? Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's usually for years what going to the relays meant.
And you're going to Peggy's today?
I think there was a group chat with one of the guys. My buddy Mitch, his son is a standout at Waukee Northwest, and like to support my friends and my friends' kids and all that. And I think a group of us are going to try to get together in support of that. We'll see. I don't think I saw anything that was in stone. So tomorrow I'm doing a sock hop.
Well, hold on. Tomorrow you're doing the Agency Iowa Logo 3 at Grandview University.
Yes, tomorrow morning we're doing that. That's going to be at 10 a.m. I think that lasts about a half hour.
Probably right around there.
You think that lasts until what'd you say, 12:30?
Like noon. Yeah.
No way we're doing that.
Is somebody going to make a shot here?
No way. We are going to have a men's ball and a women's ball because we do have at least one female competitor, right? I think our other, we had 2 women, but Dixie had to back out.
Yeah. Did we get a 5th? Did we feel that? Okay.
Yep, got a 5th. So we'll have some fun with that. Got the logo is going to be stuck to the floor. It peels up easily. We'll leave no residue. If Troy is listening.
David wants to know if the Agency Iowa Logo 3 contest will be streamed live. It will be on our Facebook page. It will be streamed live on Facebook. And then we're going to have a couple other cameras there. I'll say, hey, give me the video, and I'll come back and kind of edit some stuff and kind of put a recap of the day on. But the plan is to stream the contest live on Facebook. So if you haven't liked the Rush Radio Show's Facebook page yet, do so. And we'll be going live tomorrow morning from Grandview University as we give away those Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever, and Brazilian national team tickets. We'll take a break. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Brendan Santone here with Willis Cadillac. Well, we're already off to a jumping start. Have quite a few vehicles to select from. XT5, 4, and 6 are all still running special APR up to 84 months, along with rebates as well. Escalades, as you can see, we are getting a few here and there that are available. Stop out in person in Clive to visit us and see one of our 50 cars in stock, or at williscadillac.com.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah.
Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the Wooden Nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Happy Friday, everybody.
This week went fast, man.
We say that every week because the older you get, the faster time goes. You know, I'll use my daughter's field day thing she has today. I went to the first activity on Tuesday night, and I'm like, man, it just seems like we were sitting here for freshman year. And here we are at senior year. I'm like, this is the last time I have to do this. It was exciting and sad at the same time, if that makes sense. You're like,
I get it.
Yeah. But yeah, it is each and every day. What do they say? The days are long, but the years are fast. Is that what they say?
Yeah. When you have little kids, that's the way it is.
Yeah.
Your days are long, man. And then all of a sudden, it's that Tracy Lawrence song. You're gonna miss this.
Well, I mean, let's use you and I, and I not mean when I say you and I mean not Northern Iowa, but you and I.
Yeah.
I mean, when I first met you, I think Greta was 4 years old, right?
Yeah.
And my kids were fairly young.
Cow.
Now, 3 of my kids are fully grown adults in their own professional lives. Greta's graduating high school. When I met you, Audrey wasn't even in existence yet. Eli was, what is he, 14 years old?
Yeah. Was Eli even born?
He was like one.
Was a baby? Yeah, because I have a photo of you holding Eli as a little baby.
Yes. And I can look back and go. I mean, I still remember sitting in the KXNO studio doing my tryout, and Ross going, "Who is this dude? Who is this dude?"
I didn't use the word dude.
No, who is this douche? Who is this douche? The college basketball portal is closed, and CBSSports.com came out with its top 15 rankings of the college basketball portal. This is no indication of teams that are going to be a success, but I think it gets teams excited. I'm not going to go through the whole top 15, but Ross, Iowa comes in at number 5.
Yeah.
Iowa comes in at number 5. Now, Bennett Sturt's a big reason because of that.
Right.
He was the number 3 player in the portal, according to CBSSports.com.
Yeah, you brought in a roster that won a game in March.
Yeah.
You deserve to be in that range. I think that's a good thing. You're right, Travis. That's the right perspective of it. Very cool. It's what he needed to do. This Iowa team had to have a lot of turnover, not just because you changed the coach and players were going to leave. In order to be competitive, you had to have some different guys. I think, and the different coach brought in different guys, brought in a whole slew of them, and better to be on this end of this spectrum than the other end of the spectrum, which a lot of those teams, man, like an entire roster turnover of a good team, that's painful and sucks and all that. This is one of the necessary pains that you've got to go through, a growing pain that has to happen here when you change coaches.
Just curious, and I'm not knocking anything, because I think coaches have high expectations. I think coaches who even turn around kind of feel the pressure of, hey, it's a win now, and you can win now because of the portal. But when you look at Ben McCollum, who went from Northwest Missouri State to Drake, used the transfer portal to build a team that won 30 games, won the Missouri Valley Conference regular season title, won the Missouri Valley Conference tournament, won a game in the NCAA tournament, and then he turns around and in year number 1 at Iowa has what is perceived to be the number 5 portal recruiting class. Does that create amongst fans unrealistic expectations? Do you think I'm not an Iowa fan going, they're going to win 28 games next year. They're going to be they're going to be 1 or 2 in the Big Ten. I'm not saying that. I hope they're in the top half of that Big Ten. I hope they get to that 23, 24 win mark and are solidly in the NCAA tournament. Do you think there are people who are like, he did it at Drake, he's going to do it right here at Iowa in year 1?
And by do it, can you the 28 win thing?
Yeah.
There might be a few. Title. There might be a few Hawkeye fans that are out over their skis on this thing and think, all right, now all of a sudden we're one of the best teams in the Big Ten. No,
it's that savior mentality, right? He did it once, he can do it again.
I think, Travis, I've not met any Hawkeye fan that feels that way. Most Hawkeye fans I've talked to are, man, it's more of a relief. It's more like,
I think the relief is, they're in the top group of this portal. That's a good thing.
Yeah, but I mean, more than that. We don't have to have these conversations about Fran anymore. We don't have to have this conversation about who our coach is or why we don't like our coach, or there's some hope and there's some. I don't think that most of the Hawkeye fans I've talked to have crazy expectations. Now, let's talk about what that means, because when you said, are Hawkeye fans expecting him to step in and do it? Yes.
But I'm at year 1.
Yes. And by do it, do you mean make it to the NCAA tournament? By do it, do you mean compete in that top half of the Big Ten? Yes. And if you bring in all of these guys that you won with at Drake, and you can't do that at Iowa, there are going to be, and I'm not going to be one of them. You got to give this thing time, and you got to give him 3 or 4 years to bring his guys in. In college basketball, you can turn it around in 1 year, and we've seen it happen at several times here in this state. We've seen it in Central Iowa. You can do it. The expectation, Travis, for do it changes for every fan. My expectation is make the tournament, compete in that top half of the Big Ten next year. Not 2 years, 3 years. If it doesn't happen, I'm not selling the farm. I'm not giving up on the Hawkeyes. I'm not saying Ben McCollum's a bust, but that's what the expectation is to be in the tournament next year.
So if they don't make the tournament, it would be a disappointment.
Yes.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with everybody. Thank you. You and I are on the same. We were like twins right there. We were.
Oh my God, sharing a brain.
Are you 2 Australian twins? Yeah, mate. Yeah, we all.
That you're exactly right, Trav. That every team's expectation should be to make the NCAA tournament, and if you don't, in those rare exceptions where you're rebuilding a team, and again, in the Big Ten, at a place like Iowa, as you've seen, you don't get any room. If Drake doesn't make, there's your qualifier. What league are you in? If Bradley didn't make the NCAA tournament this year, was their season a disappointment?
Probably to them, maybe, because they had some talent there, right? And
that's true.
Drake had lost everybody. It's Bradley's turn.
That's true. That's true. Go back a year from today. You're right. They expected to be that team. You're right. My point being that if you're a Hawkeye Cyclone Power 5 big time basketball fan, your expectation should be the NCAA tournament. And if you don't do that, that's a disappointment. Period. Barring injury, barring something drastic happening, that should be it.
And, Kirk says it best, maybe. And he goes, I'm glad we're having this conversation, rather how we were talking about
exactly
basketball.
Kirk nailed it. That's the feeling I was saying of that relief that Hawkeye fans, I think, feel. When basketball gets brought up, dude, it used to be a heavy conversation. And I'll be honest, I don't remember the last time basketball got brought up that wasn't, hey, we should fire Fran.
Or is this the last year for Fran?
Right. And so now I think that there is a little bit more of a relief because, again, that hope thing that we've talked a lot about.
Other teams of interest in that college basketball portal conversation. Creighton had the number 7 class, according to CBSSports.com. A big reason to that is they got Josh Dix and Owen Freeman, 2 former Hawkeyes. So Fran McCaffrey getting fired really benefited Greg McDermott.
And I would say the two. I mean, I really like Brock also, but those two are the special talents of that Hawkeye roster.
And both just different players, right? I mean, Dix shot 42% from behind the line, or from behind the 3-point line, and the way Creighton plays basketball, he could just.
Dude, both of those guys fit well, and I mean, McDermott's done well with both styles of those players.
Yeah, because he had Ryan Kalkbrenner, the big guy. Now, Kalkbrenner was 7'1". Freeman's, 6'10".
See, and Freeman isn't quite Doug. He doesn't have those skills, but he's in that vein.
Yeah. I think he'll fit in nice the way that he plays. You know, Darren DeVries had to start with absolutely nothing. Indiana has the number 6 transfer portal class. Now, he got 6 or 8 players. He still has 4 more roster spots he has to go fill. I mean, he was able to. He's got enough to field a team now. Now he's got to go fill a roster. His work is not done. The top 2 classes, St. John's came in at number 2, and Rick Pitino is just going to work that as long as he's there. And Michigan, the number 1 portal class. Michigan did a good job last year of building through the portal, but what we're seeing here, I think what you're seeing with these top classes are the ones that probably have, and I'm including Iowa in this, have a little bit of money to work with now. We had Brad Hendrick say, hey, the money's jumped. It's not a $10 million roster like Indiana has. Iowa's got probably about 3, maybe a little bit more than $3 million to work with, but using that money wisely. And again, getting Bennett Sturts is a good reason why that happened. Of course, with the House settlement we've talked about a lot. Matt Campbell, did you read the Travis Hines article this morning? I
didn't read Travis's. No. He's got one this morning?
Yeah, got one this morning. Basically saying how, Matt Campbell's fighting a losing battle, or a battle that's already been lost. And, I guess, and Kirk Ferentz has done it. Matt Campbell's doing it a little bit, just complaining about where we're at now. You can complain all you want. It ain't changing. They're not going in reverse. It's just not going to happen.
Can you give me more context? Like what?
Well, with the roster limits, especially, and I need to correct I went back
that Coach Matt Campbell was kind of saying some of those things that Brent Bloom was talking about the other day.
Yes,
just saying, man, we are noticing here. Something has happened these last couple of weeks, dude. Bloom said it too. We thought we were in great shape. Over the course of 4 days, we realized we were behind the 8 ball.
And it almost seems like they were blindsided by it.
By something. Something.
And he talked about how this isn't professional sports. This is higher education. This is stuff. And what he was talking about was the limited roster spots. And I screwed up. I listened to the show yesterday. And what I meant is there are 85 scholarships. And I forgot to say there's actual 105 roster spots. So I kept saying 85 roster spots, and I meant scholarships, but you do have 105 roster spots. But he's kind of bemoaning, a lot of coaches have, about, you're basically eliminating a walk-on program. You're taking away opportunities for kids to compete and also be part of higher education. But that's the world we live in, man. How else? I don't know how else.
The higher education
having a roster
thing,
cap.
Man, it's such a weird thing because it's true.
It is,
and if
and the majority of college athletes,
overwhelming majority of them, especially at these universities here in Iowa. The overwhelming majority of those kids, it's about the higher education. And I do believe that for Matt Campbell and his staff, and for Kirk Ferentz and his staff, that getting those kids, setting them up for that lifetime of success and making sure that they've got a good education and helping them to, make football a part of the culture that helps them to be successful. Like, that's all true. And I don't want to poo-poo any of that. The system gave that away a long time ago, when we started having football games run up against finals week, when you started traveling these kids all over the country to play football games. long before Matt Campbell came out. When Matt Campbell, before he was in college, the NCAA gave that up. They gave that up. This whole thing, the student athlete. We asked Bill Fennelly the other day, Coach, how much of this is about academics? What did he say? What was his answer?
Nothing.
None. That's Iowa State women's basketball. How many of those women are here because of the money and the None. They're all there for the education. How much of your recruiting is based on that? Zero. So Matt Camp, I'm with you, Coach Campbell. He's right, and I don't, like you said, I don't blame him for bitching about it, because I think he's asked about these things, and it's obviously stuff that's going through his brain. I'm glad he's honest and open, and I want him to continue to be.
Yeah, we're not ripping him for it.
Not at all. But the NCAA, I've been a guy for a long time that's been screaming about that stuff, and so when I hear Coach Campbell say this stuff, there is a part of me that goes, crap, I asked for this. I wanted this thing to happen. But then I remember, wait a minute, this ain't my fault. This ain't my fault. The people that pushed to get to this far, it's the NCAA's fault for creating all this, quite frankly, lying language, calling themselves nonprofits, saying it's all about student athletes when it was not about student athletes. It's been about money for generations.
Let me just push back a little bit.
All right.
I do believe the NCAA thought it was doing the right thing.
Absolutely.
Where it lost track is when you lump all the schools, all the divisions, and the rules into one organization. Yeah. What they needed to do a long time ago is recognize, hey, there's a certain class that's just moving ahead of everybody.
I use this word all the time: discretion.
Yes.
They needed discretion. They needed to be able to take each individual scenario and say, all right, there needs to be different rules or different guidelines or scenarios for this group.
Yes.
Right.
Division 2, Division 3, you hold by what Travis, we find is tradition.
You're right. The NCAA absolutely had the best of intentions. The world is built on good intentions that then get twisted, soured. Where it all started to get weird and twisted was with the money. As soon as there was a lot of money that was being made, and they said, okay, we got to build this wall called amateurism and make sure that these kids don't get any access to this stuff, because damn it, we're already giving them enough. Well, then it became thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions. And it got out of hand because you'd built it on all this weird stuff with the good intentions of we're going to keep it pure and right and all that.
And I think a reason Matt Campbell might be upset, and this is just my opinion, is that you finally get to a place where you're competing at the same level, right? You're like, okay, I've got this
figured
program.
out. Yeah,
you figured out we've gone through a lot, but we're competing. We can stay competitive, and now it's like, oh, going back to our conversation with Brent Bloom, something happened to her. It's like, how are we going to be competitive, or at least be able to play at somewhat of a fair playing field with everybody else?
Travis, that book, Someone Moved My Cheese.
It's like a chess game. Oh, we're here?
I got here. I got to where I was supposed to be here, and someone moved my cheese.
Another, a good example of that, it's apples to oranges, not the same, but let's go back to the early 2000s when the Missouri Valley Conference put, 5 people in the NCAA tournament.
There you go.
Big boys went, oh, okay, NET, RPI. Oh, okay, now you're back to a one-bid league. Figure it out again.
Wichita State, Creighton,
Bradley.
We'll take your pieces. We'll take this piece. Dude from Iowa, listen, Iowa State fan, this is a pointed way to say it. Iowa State got to first class for a minute, and now they're freaking out heading back to economy. I don't. That's a pointed way to say it, but I don't think it's quite that maybe it is. I mean, read between the lines of what Coach Matt Campbell said. Read between the lines of what Brent Bloom said. Maybe it is that drastic, but I think it's more of we're afraid this could happen. If the Big Ten and the SEC grab onto this football playoff and do with the same thing with the football playoff that we just described that they did to the Missouri Valley in basketball, squeeze everybody else out, which is what they want to do.
Let's use the NFL draft as an example. You know what the SEC and the Big Ten are going today? Well, we had 26 of the 32 first-round picks. If that doesn't show you that this is,
you think
elite?
Matt Rule isn't dancing a little bit, seeing that stat, going, I've been telling people Nebraska had nothing to do with it. But he can stand up and go, yeah, it's a different level. We play a different game here.
We said it earlier, and this has kind of been a broken record all week, and that is it's going to probably get a lot uglier before it gets better. It eventually will work itself out. Nobody's ever going to be 100% satisfied. Coaches who compete at the highest level just want to be able to they want everybody to play by the same rules, right? But there won't be same rules. And money creates a power struggle. We've heard the expression, money's the root of all evil.
It makes the world go round. All these cliches are true. Follow the money. I think the scariest thing we heard this week was the thing from Brad Heinrichs about the clearinghouse, and then the stuff about Learfield being involved, because that means lobbyists got politicians to make decisions based on business interests.
Well,
great.
And I get the Learfield thing, and we're using Iowa State as an example. Just hear me out, because
okay. All right.
if you want to use, like, Cyclone Sports Properties has access to the logo. If you want to market yourself as a Cyclone or Hawkeye player, well, you have to have permission to do that, right?
Yes, agreed.
And so when an entity owns that, if you want, and that's what Brent was saying. Hey, if you want to market yourself as a Cyclone, that contract goes through Learfield. They're gonna pay you for that.
Yeah, and that's my point. Learfield doesn't own that.
Well, it does, because Iowa State sells those rights.
Learfield rents that.
Okay, rents
right. They rent those rights. So why are you allowing a middleman to come in and do that's again? It's a business relationship that has happened there behind the scenes. More people are making money. More hands are reaching into the cookie jar.
The universities do it though, Ross, because you don't have to employ a whole staff to do this. And it's basically saying, hey, we don't have to employ people.
Same reason we work with Choice, right?
Yes.
They do. They provide us services that you and I, quite frankly, just don't want to have to do.
Or don't have time to do.
To make this thing operate the way that it does. So that's, I get that. I get that. What I don't like is, every Learfield has all of them.
Well, they've created their own. And when we use Iowa and Iowa State,
monopoly.
They own. Just look and see how many college properties Learfield owns.
It's incredible. And again, rents, right? I mean, rents. They pay they've got the contract to sell those rights for now. This, in a little way, I won't get into. I don't want to.
Oh, you got a couple minutes.
I was just going to say it's kind of like when they were selling the Iowa high school television rights. It takes me back to that great Jamie Pollard line of COVID. I love it. We're going to find out who's in charge of what. We're going to find out who's in charge of what. Who gets to sell the rights to high school sports? Who owns that? Who makes that money? An association? A school? A network? All three? Split it up. They split it up.
But one's going to take more than the other because, hey, I'm doing the work. I get the bulk of the
I put the investment in. I've got the equipment. I'm the one renting the airtime. And I'm not saying that's not worth. Like, I always felt like those guys at the Iowa High School Sports Network kind of got a little bit of a bad rap. They weren't printing cash over there.
Yeah.
They were trying to get sports out to people and trying to make it worth their time while they did that. Does that make you evil, awful, mean that you're trying to make money off of high school sports? People will make that argument. So anyway, Brian hits the nail on the head and drives it home. All of this is just costing us as fans more money. Over and over and over. And it's costing us more money and not giving us the return that we're hoping for, meaning our teams don't get any sort of competitive advantage.
Not at all.
Our teams aren't. We can't. They keep moving the cheese. We can't stay ahead of the game here. We can't stay with the game if you're in Iowa State's boat. And man, we thought we were in this race. Found out we aren't even in the same lake. So.
Big plans this weekend?
Yeah, dude. Got tomorrow you're headed to town.
Yep.
Gonna do be at Grandview tomorrow morning. I'll be there probably around 9:15, something like that. Try to get some things set up. Probably get a few shots in. Just get a few shots up, you know what I mean? Get loose a little bit.
Gonna get loose a little bit. Okay.
Be my plan. And then tomorrow night have a sock hop. Big sock hop tomorrow night, buddy. The St. Teresa Gala. Gala? Yeah,
I think it's a gala. It's a gala? Yeah.
What's a gala?
Just the wrong word to say gala.
Kind
of like vase and vase. It's a vase. It's not a vase.
Tomato. I just tomatoed to end the week. Great.
Yes. All right, everybody, have a great weekend. Look for us on Facebook Live tomorrow doing the Agency Iowa Logo 3. We'll be back Monday at 6 a.m. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
You've dreamed about an absolutely organized garage or closet? See it for yourself at Absolute Garage & Closet's beautiful showroom in Urbandale. See the latest in garage storage, custom closet systems, and epoxy flooring applications up close, and imagine how good it will feel to have your garage, closets, or other spaces absolutely organized. Free consultations, friendly service, and quick project turnarounds, Absolute Garage & Closets is ready to bring peace of mind into your home. Visit Absolute Garage & Closets at 3169 99th Street in Urbandale or at absolutegarage.net.
Hi, I'm John Linares, sales manager here at Willis Lexus, and this month, with spring here, it has also brought some great deals. We have $1,500 of lease cash on RX, $2,750 on NX, and $3,000 on ES. And if you're not looking to lease this time around, we have low APRs available like 3.99 for 48 months and 4.49 for up to 60 months on select models. I invite you to stop in and visit with your favorite sales consultant or visit us online at willislexus.com.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.